Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much, General, for being here today. We certainly appreciate your commitment and your service to our great nation, and thank you for stepping forward with this nomination. I just want to briefly touch upon the issue of sexual harassment, sexual assault, as Senator Gillibrand and Senator Blumenthal just did. We had a conversation about this last week. Thank you very much for that. But part of that Fort Hood report that came forward stated that the military readiness requirement superseded the need to protect our service members. What are your feelings as to that statement? And then how do we move forward and correct that?
Senator, I honestly don't believe that these two issues are mutually exclusive. We absolutely have to take care of the men and women that are in our ranks. You know, a failure to do so, I mean, we are about people in the military. We have the greatest, best equipment in the world, and I get that, but this is about people. You know, if we don't take care of our people, it's really, really tough to do the job at hand, and that's to defend this country. And so I do not see these two issues as being at odds with each other. I think we have to do both, and we have to do them both well.
I truly appreciate that. I fully agree. Our military readiness does not have to suffer because of sexual harassment. We can take care of that issue and also still be the best fighting force in the world. So I appreciate your stance there. I today had such a great honor. I retired from the Iowa Army National Guard in 2015, and we have a number of those tremendous men and women serving right outside our doors today. And it was my honor to go out in front of the Capitol and re-enlist about 15 of our Iowa Army National Guardsmen. Great honor for me. But the importance of our National Guard has really been on display the last year or so, as we have seen numerous troops deployed in support of fighting forest fires in California, for deployments and mobilizations supporting COVID-19 activities, whether it's food distribution to food banks, making sure that vaccines were distributed to our communities. We have seen tens of thousands of our soldiers and airmen mobilized. They were there, they responded, and they did it quite quickly. And I'll emphasize that point again, that the National Guard, they mobilized and they were there quickly, even beyond the capacity of their active counterparts. So whether it was working for FEMA, helping those local health clinics, you know, distributing food, as I said, our National Guard members stepped up. And again, today, we witnessed them out on our Capitol Mall, keeping our nation safe so that we here in Congress can do our duties. So no matter what happens, whether it's response to riots or violence or other types of activities, they are mobilizing for us. And so what we have learned over the last year is that they do come to us quickly in response to these domestic missions. Now, what further changes or reforms could be made to make sure that our National Guard are treated equally because of their important role for our United States, but treated equally with their active duty counterparts when it comes to training, when it comes to equipment, when it comes to readiness? What can we do to make sure that they are on par with their active duty counterparts?
Well, there are, as you know, having been a Guard member for quite some time, there are some challenges in terms of the amount of days that you have to actually conduct that training. But quite frankly, you know, over the last 2 decades, we've seen our great Guard members work shoulder to shoulder in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, and we've seen a difference in the quality of equipment early on. I think we've closed that gap now. I think we're doing better. There's more that we can do. But we're going to have to continue to work through these challenges. Are no easy fixes, but this is one thing that I'll work with the services on to make sure that we are giving our Guard the very best, finest of equipment. We are giving them good quality training opportunities, and we are recognizing them for the great work that they're doing.
No, I thank you for that answer. They mean a lot to us in defense of our country, and certainly short notice mobilizations, especially as we see right here in Washington, D.C. Today. So last issue, because I know that we are running short on time. You and I did speak briefly about defense spending and the audit of our Pentagon and DoD. So we know that our defense budget has grown significantly to address many threats, Russia and China, as well as a persistent threat coming from Iran, as well as a number of much smaller terrorist groups around the world. So the potential for defense spending that is wasteful has also grown and expanded, and it's used on lower priority or even obsolete programs. So if confirmed, how will you lead the budget reviews to reform the Pentagon, and do you see it as a possibility to make sure that the Department of Defense does obtain a clean audit?
That will continue to be our goal. As you and I talked, we have made some progress. As I understand it, I've been away from the process for a while, but there's more to be done. And you have my commitment that we will lean into this and continue to push to make sure that we can get that clean audit in a not too distant future.
Thank you very much, General. My time has expired. Again, thank you for stepping forward and looking to serve our nation again in this capacity. Thank you, Mr. Chair.